So I've been hearing people was talking about Minnesota's defense against Denver in game two. And I heard Stephen A. Smith and some people alluding to the Bulls, uh, talking about Jordan Pippen and that thing. For me, in recent memory, it put me more in the frame of mind of the 2004 Pistons because of the bigness and the size. Now, Ant Edwards aside, they remind me a lot of that kind of team because they're feisty, they're angry, they could been disrespected. That's who I think of. If Minnesota was to go on and win the chip this year, I would make the comparison to them in the 2004 Pistons, the team that upset the world when they beat the Lakers for one in the finals when Shaq was still Shaq and you had Kobe emerging up and Phil, and they were all on that. And you had Karl Malone and Gary Payton, even though that was a very asterisk season for the Lakers because they really, everything that was going on. But the fact that they took out the mighty Lakers and Larry Brown laid it over Phil Jackson, that was one of the big ones. And no one saw it coming. Just like when you see how Minnesota's manhandling Denver. Because Jokic is still, Jokic. I mean, he's averaging in the 20s, but it's the field goal percentage, but it's the hurrying up the pace. It can't get comfortable, can't get set. And also Jamal Murray looking flat and throwing things and irate. Porter Jr. and Gordon are aight. They just okay. KCP hasn't showed up. Their offense really hasn't showed up. They coasted against the Lakers, but they're getting exposed against the Timberwolves because the Timberwolves are turning them over, creating that heat. There is no answer for Anthony Edwards at all. And Cat Williams is standing out there. Cat is standing out. He looked like Cat Williams, but right now he's on his own island. Cat is out there making shots. Forget the last name part, but Cat is out there shooting for Minnesota. He may as well be like Cat Williams because he's lighting up jokes on the expense and storytelling on Denver's expense. But anyway, and Rudy Gobert just had, congratulations on the birth of his child. But his defense, his hustle, his free safety style, their defense and the way they're attacking Jokic, Murray, and all of them is making me think of the Pistons of 2004. As a fact, I think it's akin to that because no one has gave them a shot against Denver. People laughed and clowned them, including Charles Barkley. A lot of people. And I'm not going to lie. I was one where Gobert got traded for that huge trade last year for the Jazz. I thought, you crazy? That's Rudy Gobert. I mean, I know he was 3-time defensive player of the year. He may win it this year. But I was thinking, I think he did. I was there thinking like, yeah, right. And with Cat, they always was like softies. They was like Hostess cupcakes, like Twinkies. Didn't they just was big? They didn't even get out the first round. It was kind of like they're fodder. But Chris Finch, their coach, got them guys playing, and Michael Conley up there playing. And I'm looking at and Nazar, and I'm looking at this team like this look like a championship team. This is a man's team, and they would make me think if they go and win with the obstacles of the teams they had to go against. I'm thinking of the 2004 Pistons. I would make that comparison because their defense. The reason why I don't say that Bulls team with Rodman and all that is because Jordan and Pippen, and they just had to retweak. They played great defense then, but I'm talking more in a modern context. I'm talking about when you're going against somebody, even though because Shaq was a puppy when the Bulls won that run. Okay, that 96 run, 95, 96. He was a puppy. Wasn't the same. They beat him in the Eastern Conference Finals. He had lost the finals a year before. Wasn't the same. This one is a different juggernaut because you gotta remember if they get by Kevin Durant, Booker, Jokic, Murray, Shea, Chad, and then you got Tatum Brown and all that. And then I think about the defense they play and the style. That's what put me in the frame of mind of that. Not including the ant factor, but just taking it just as a cohesive unit because no one saw this coming like that. So it'd be more akin. If they win, I put that in comparison. Because that Pistons team, when they got Rasheed Wallace, up until that point, they were a cast of misfits. And the difference, though, is that Pistons team was considered tougher. Ben Wallace was an MVP, considered top 10 at the time. Sheed was one of those guys who could be great if he wanted to play that role. Richard Hamilton, kind of like a cast-off, didn't really work in Washington with Michael Jordan's years there. Chauncey Billups had been kind of sputtering around. he was flirting as a second tier, third tier guard. You know, he had first tier type talent in moments, but he kind of just didn't have it wasn't in focus till he got with Larry Brown. You put all that together, and then Tayshaun Prince, of course, you remember that block against Reggie Miller. I'm thinking that this team runs the table with their styling. They put me in the frame of mind of those '04 Pistons because no one would see this coming. No one. And if you look around at the path to getting there, no one is looking at Boston's path as difficult or the Knicks' path as difficult. Or let's just look around, shall we? Cleveland would be impossible. They're not beating Boston. And Indiana, they're not winning like that. They're not there. Look out in the West. OKC, but their path to getting there wouldn't even be that difficult because if they beat Dallas, which I expect, and they spanked New Orleans, that wasn't difficult. Denver should have lost to the Lakers, didn't, but that path wasn't that difficult. Dallas beat the Clippers. But if you look at the path, the caliber, the names, the style, if Minnesota flips the switch, and when I look at defense and offense, that would be comparable to that to me. That would rank as one of the, and up there with that run for Ant to make that run and make it happen, if they do, would rival Dirk's run in a way to the Dallas run when you think about it, considering the lack of respect and what people look at. So that's just something dumb thing, but that's hyperbole. And if it does come to pass, bring this video back. If it don't come to pass, I'll say something that it didn't happen. But if that's what the Timberwolves look like, they look like that. That would be something. We'll see. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear. Watch out for another shitter if you like them. Peace.